Hello and welcome. Nancy, how are you doing today? Oh, you are muted. No wonder.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Nancy, how you
I can't
doing?
hear you.
No? Oh my.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Well, I can hear you very clearly. Let me see what's happening there.
Discovering your device is connected.
Something is.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I cannot hear you.
Oh.
So just one sec, let's see.
Okay.
Audio. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I still am having trouble hearing you.
Can I hear me? That
try.
is not good at all. Let me see why.
And I think I can hear you now. Let's try this.
Can you hear me now?
Can I hear you now? I can hear you now. We all said. I'll just change devices.
It was the device between you and I.
It was me. I assure you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Okay. Excuse me. Let me listen. Technology will have its way with you in a minute before you know it.
I tell you. I tried to go high tech with the higher quality headphones. So I'll just stick with my old and true.
Oh dear. Well, Nancy, welcome and blessed Sunday to you. I don't know how your Sunday's been going, but mine has been restful, and I am excited to have you on the show.
My Sunday has been going wonderful. Any day I get up, I try to get up with a happy, positive attitude. It's not raining, so that's good. And I've walked my dogs, and I'm looking so forward to talking to you as well. So
awesome.
It's all good.
Wonderful. So listen, this is just a friendly conversation. This is not CNN interview. I don't know how to do none of those. So just sit back, feel comfortable. Feel really comfortable. Let me introduce you to our viewers. And we are streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn currently. And feel free to stream this conversation to your social media handles. So feel free to do that as well. I believe you may have the
there's a button. Yeah, there's a button I can push, but I don't know. I'd be scared to push it. Something might happen. It's okay. I'm good. I'm okay.
Oh dear. It's okay. If it locks you out, we will come right back on with the same links that we joined. So if you want to do so,
I'm
I
okay,
know.
but thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is Nurses in Charge. This is our Share Your Nurse Story podcast. We do try to meet here every Sunday. Last Sunday, we weren't here. But today, I am so blessed to be in the presence of this amazing global leader, Nanci McClellan. She is an amazing, she's done some marvelous jobs in her career line. And to be in front of her today, it feels like I am meeting with a legend. So let me tell you a little bit about what I know about this amazing, amazing nurse, a trailblazer. Um, she's a mover, she's a shaker. But listen, guys, thank you for joining us for this powerful conversation, a transformative episode of the NIC Podcast. As we welcome Nanci McClellan. She is a global clinical leader, registered nurse, a passionate human rights advocate who is on a journey, has been on a journey redefining what it truly means to care. From the few conversations I've had with Nanci, I am moved. I am like, wow, when I grow up, I want to be just like this nurse leader because the genuine spirit of caring, where she is brave, she is courageous, she just go into areas that needs to be touched to show that she cares and to impact change. Over the past 20 years, we've experienced spinning from clinical care, global oncology researcher, great at that, amazing at that as well, and restorative justice. She is Nanci. Her story is one of evolution, courage, and purpose. From the intensity of bedside nursing to leading international clinical trials in the pharmaceutical industry, Nanci has navigated complex healthcare systems while maintaining a deep commitment to the dignity of every individual she's cared for. Now she is stepping into a new chapter, and I am so glad to be part of this chapter. Nanci is bridging healthcare and law. She's pursuing paralegal training while re-entering nursing practice as a nursing leader in justice, reform, and an advocate for survivors of violence. She is boldly addressing systemic um, in, in inequities, and championing healing through both clinical and legal issues. With that said, I've read a lot about Nanci to you all today, but without further ado, Nanci is right here before you and I, and this conversation is relaxing. Nepu Kemoha is not a journalist. I am not a podcast by any degree, but I love to have conversation with my fellow nurses and midwives. I love to learn about what their journey has entailed. I love to showcase their stories because not so often do we get the opportunity to be featured to the World Wide Web, especially for the amazing things that we do that people don't know about and people have never seen. And it just could be someone's spark to say, aha, I never knew that person was doing that. I never knew a nurse could do that. So it always really invigorates me to say, wow, I want to know that, nurse. Can I see what you're doing? Can you tell me what you're doing? So for those of you who are joining first time ever on this podcast, I say welcome. For those who are watching it after the live feeds, I say welcome as well. And if you've come across, you've had questions, feel free, put that in the comments. And if you're watching this later on, just still feel free to comment, and please do share. This is good news. We don't often share good news. This is good news. Share with your friends and family. Invite somebody to join us today. Invite someone and you yourself to tell your story as well. So, Nanci, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please formally introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure. I can't do, you didn't, oh my gosh, you almost had me in tears. That was beautiful. Thank you so, so much. And just before I introduce myself, I would encourage anybody to reach out and share their story in this format. This is the first podcast I have ever done. I am not a podcaster. So I feel very, very comfortable. I didn't lose a minute's sleep about joining this lovely lady on this podcast. We've met a couple of times before, so it's just so welcoming. And you know, you're right. We don't often get a chance to learn about each other and what we're doing, and often people are doing many, many things in the background, and you know, you just don't know, and we can just learn from each other and celebrate each other. Nobody's going to celebrate us if we don't celebrate ourselves as a group, and I just think I think it's a wonderful format. So my name is Nanci McClellan, as we've all heard. I I I don't know what to say to introduce myself other than I've been a nurse since 1989, so for a couple of years now. You know, and I went from nursing into clinical research and started at the bottom, working my way up. I started working as um, study a study coordinator, and a lot of people ask me, how do you get into research? And I in nursing because they don't teach it in school, you know, that this is an avenue for you. Um, and usually the way you do it is you become a nurse working in a clinical research institution or academia. And from there, you can make the leap like I did to the pharmaceutical industry. And there are many, many, many roles that you can take on. I'm currently a global project manager in pharma. Um, I'm I don't find it as fulfilling as I used to, and that's why I've been, you know, kind of widening what I've been reevaluating what's important to me at this chapter in my life, what I would really like to be doing with my life, um, and you know, I don't see that pharma is going to fulfill that for me. I've worked primarily in oncology. It's been an exciting career. I've traveled all over the world to meetings and things. It's been a great experience, but a few years ago, I started to just question why am I doing this? So I started looking back, and at the time I was living in the United States, working for a pharmaceutical company. Um, I moved back to Canada about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and decided that I would pursue my dreams. I would make a 5 year plan and pursue what I wanted to do. And that is definitely help, you know, go back in formally into nursing instead of just being on the periphery in research. Taking advanced nursing courses right in BC, where British Columbia, where I live. You can prescribe certain drugs in remote areas. So one of the areas that I'm most interested in is remote nursing. BC is a big province. A lot of it's remote, and people have to be flown out to definitive care for anything from a dental abscess to a heart attack, they have to be flown out. And in those communities, there aren't physicians a lot of the time, or if there are, it's sort of on a part-time basis. We do have nurse practitioners here, thankfully. That's an avenue I'm also considering exploring, as applying to as well, once I finish my remote nursing certification. And just being able to help as many people in those remote communities as possible is something that interests me greatly. So that's sort of where I'm going with my nursing. Well, at the same time, I'm doing a parallel stream in law, because I believe so much in human rights, and I don't like to see people's human rights being trampled on. And healthcare is a basic human right. And in those remote communities, if you don't have access to healthcare, you're being denied a right. And I don't like that. I have deep respect for human rights, and I think we should all have access to all of them. And I know that may be a lofty goal. And it started with me with teaching people through some of my volunteer work about human rights, that people aren't even aware what their rights are, and how to make a complaint, how to contact the human rights agencies and put your complaint forward. So just the teaching piece was just great, to be able to talk to people and explain what they did have access to, and more importantly too, how to access it. A lot of people don't know how to access what care there is, and advocate for themselves. Teaching people to advocate as well, to get what they are entitled to and need, to survive. So that's kind of where the law bit comes in. I volunteer work with an organization that works with human rights complaints, and I'm learning a ton there. I'm meeting a lot of great people. Everybody I meet, it's just fabulous, and anybody I can help, even just a little bit, even just through education, it's just phenomenal. It just fills my cup, and that is something that I wasn't getting in the pharma industry. Is this. So that is sort of where I'm going career-wise, and I have a deep interest in survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. And I volunteer for a couple of organizations. One where I'm on an SA response team, and I respond and help the victim through the process, however they want to go through the process. If they want to make a police complaint, if they don't. I'm a big believer in restorative and transformative justice, but it's whatever the person wants, and I'm just there to provide support. The other organization is I'm the British Columbia representative for Survivors for Justice Reform, and that's a group that is exactly what it sounds like, a group of survivors of domestic violence in SA, and we're looking for justice reform. So we lobby at the provincial level, at the country level. It's an organization that's in North America and spreading. So, I will talk to the Ombudsman of Canada, for example, about, laws and things that are before the legislature that need to pass to make it safer for women and men alike. So, and I really enjoy that work. It was really nerve-wracking for me talking to people that are so important, but you know what? A lot of them are just like us. They're kind, they're nice, and they're trying to do the same thing, to the right thing. And they enjoy hearing from people who, have lived experiences. So that is sort of what I've been up to in the last couple of years since coming back to Canada. And I really, really enjoy all of those pursuits. I love school. I know that sounds weird, especially at my age, but I'm really enjoying it. I would encourage anybody not to worry about your age when you go back to school. It's been a great experience, and I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to do it. I hope to be out of the pharma industry within the next 18 months at the most, hopefully a year. So, and then I'll be doing my remote work, and I might apply to nurse practitioner school because I had to drop out in my last year because I was a victim of domestic violence, and it was a bad experience. And I couldn't manage school and handling the situation. So I'm coming full circle. I want to finish what I started, and because it's always bothered me that that situation caused me to derail my goal. So, and I could do so much in this province. We have a wicked healthcare practitioner shortage in BC, in Canada. Um, there's a 3 or 4 year wait list for a primary care physician or nurse practitioner. So you can make such a difference. So move to BC and help us.
Wow, Nanci, I'm listening to you.
Oh, I can't hear you now. Again, sorry.
Oh, something happened?
Oh no. Oh no.
I can hear you though. I can
Can you
hear
hear
you.
me?
Yes.
I can't hear a thing.
That
Let me
is
check something here.
Oh, I think Nancy, I think your connection. Okay, she'll come back. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a ride today. This amazing nurse leader that I'm speaking with. You saw her. Welcome, Nia. Welcome from way over there in Liberia. Welcome, welcome. Tell my people hello for me in Gamu City. It's great to have you. Oh dear. Nancy is one phenomenal nurse leader. I really want her to come back so we can have this conversation because this is all about her. As you can see from just the short conversation we've held, Nancy has a big heart. She wants to solve all the world's problems. And do you know someone, or are you one of those people who see so much happening in the world, and if you could wave your magic wand, or if you had an angelic experience with God Almighty, you would tell him to solve our problems. Nancy, can you hear me?
I'm back.
You're back. Can you hear me?
I can't hear you still, though. I wonder what's wrong. Let me just try something.
What's going on here? Let me see.
Oh, I see what's wrong.
What happened?
There we go. Work.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Hey, that's awesome. That's awesome. I was just talking about you. And before I go into speaking more about you and what I captured when you were speaking, I want to let you know my mother, my biological mother, is joining us. She is in Liberia. and
Oh,
she
nice.
is joining from YouTube. Listen, Nancy, this is Nayor. She's in Liberia. She comes and goes. She is my inspiration into nursing. She's been a nurse now over, I would say she's been a nurse now 40, Nayor, correct me, 45 years. Yes, she inspired me to become a nurse, and she is my number one fan in the whole wide world. She always shows up to all of my events. Even if I'm
Oh,
under the rock, she comes and digs a hole and finds me there.
oh, you're so fortunate. Oh, that's so
Oh,
lovely.
blessed. I tell the
Yeah.
whole world, wherever I go, I'm like, I am so blessed to have my mother beside me. She's always there. So thank you, Naya, for joining. Meet Nancy, and I see 3 other people online, and I welcome you all. Thank you. Please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you're joining from. Are you an NIC member, or you just stumbled upon this broadcast and you stop by and you are still in the loop? So Nancy, back to you. So listen, lady, when I was listening to you and you were talking from Genesis to Revelation, I was just captivated by this person who has a big heart. She has her hero cape on and she looking, where else can I save somebody? What problems around the world can I solve? I've done this, I've done that, but and from your personal experience with domestic violence, and from so now you're going in that arena and you want to save lives here. You care so much. Oh my goodness. Wow.
It it feels good to care though, doesn't it? Like, I mean, it fills me up. It's what I need. I need to be able to help people.
Mhm.
And and I know what it was like when I've been through lived experiences, right? So I understand what people are going through with the domestic violence and that, and how horrific it can be, and that lived experience really translates well
Mhm.
when you're, because you can share that, right? And you can share that part of you, and so you've been through it too. It's meaningful, it's passionate, and um I feel blessed that I can give back,
Mm.
that that I survived, and I not only survived, I thrived, right? And
Mm. You
and
are.
so I feel blessed, and I feel that I need to help as many people as possible. And that's why I guess in pharma the boardroom, the corporateness,
Mm.
um, you know, you don't get a warm fuzzy. Let me tell you on the daily about it.
Mm.
You may get a drug to market, which is awesome,
Mhm.
but that drug's going to be overpriced and not available to most of the world. So you don't feel great about that either.
Mhm.
Um, I know my company will love me, but yeah, thank you. But I feel blessed to be able to do what I'm doing and to know where I want to go with my life. Because a lot of the time I felt like I wasn't happy, but I wasn't sure what I wanted to do.
Mm.
What did I want to do to change it? And it's scary to change it, isn't it? Like, it's scary to say, I'm just going to throw away 18 years in the pharmaceutical industry and do remote nursing and help
Mm.
survivors and go into law and fight for human rights. It's like,
Wow.
who are you? you
Yeah.
know?
Wow.
And you have people around you who don't understand it. They're
Mhm.
thinking of retiring, and you're thinking of going to nurse practitioner school. So,
I said, Nancy, can we check your head? What's
So
going on?
that's you.
Oh my
I can't
goodness.
imagine retiring. So
You are not going to retire from this personality that I'm feeling here from you about you. You are not going to retire. It's going to take Congress to retire you.
no, I can't imagine what I would do if I retired. I'd be a menace. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. So on that, I want to say that it feels like we have several assignments in this world, especially in our line of profession where we are called to serve. We've taken this baton, we've taken this mantle to serve humanity. So we have periods where we complete an assignment, and I say assignment because we reach a portion of the journey, and then we realize that, oh, I was once very excited getting here, but I feel like I have reached my maximum. I have achieved most of the goals, if anything, and I don't feel like there's a room to grow anymore. So then we start pivoting, we start desiring to do something different. And the different thing that we're trying to go into is not a foreign project. It's just something that is near and dear to our heart. And it feels so great to even just close our eyes and want to leap into it. So it is meaningful. It does not feel like we're stretching too far, like we're not breaking the mold to get there, but it feels rewarding just thinking about where we're headed. And but where we're leaving from, we feel that it's not exciting no more, just because we serve our peoples in that area and God wants us to do something different. And it always comes from our experience, our life experiences, that, oh, this area is near and dear to my heart because I know what it feels like to be there. And I want to help somebody else who is struggling here because I can relate. Is that what you're feeling right now?
that's what I'm feeling right now. And I'll tell you, like back in, I'm trying to remember the year, I think it was 1995. I was working in ICU, and ended up catching invasive group A strep pneumonia, and
Ooh.
I had an empyema and wasn't expected to live.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
yeah, it's a tough one. That's what Jim Henson of the Muppets guy died from, and um, I was in the hospital, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks. But it, when I felt like was saved for a reason. Do you know what I mean? Like I felt like I could have easily died, right? But I was saved, and there must have been a reason for that. And I think about that all the time. That I need to live up to the reason, whatever it may be. Because I was given a second chance on life,
Mm.
that I shouldn't have had by all rights. So that's kind of how that's kind of like my North Star when I'm thinking about, what I want to do, and how I can help the most is, there's a reason you're here. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
that's powerful to me. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That is
that's
scary. It's
yeah.
scary that you went through such a critical moment in your health. And Impaima is not something to joke around with and say, oh, I had it. It's something that it is dangerous, could have claimed your life. But you're right. I like the fact that you're looking at the silver lining and saying, I got saved for a reason. And I would tell you straightforward, Nancy, God has so much deposited in you, and until He pour everything out and serve the world and what I want to say, withdraw and deposit, you serve the world of all the gifts He's put in you. Um, Nothing will claim your life because you're here to serve His purpose. So no matter how sick you become, it is just another tool in your toolkit to be able to use it and truly relate to someone else's condition. So when you see a patient who is struggling to breathe because they have pneumonia or they have any respiratory condition, you can say, "Hey, I'm a nurse, but I've been in that bed and I've had respiratory condition like this. So this is how I see life. That God will only allow you to go through certain things that He can use as a tool to serve humanity. So you weren't saved by mistake, and it is not by chance. The doctors did not do it. God brought you through.
Yeah, there is no reason I should not have lived. I should not. They gave me last rites, and I managed to pull through. So
Wow.
yeah, there's fine intervention there for sure.
So I have a critical question for you. One that I always it is intriguing to know what brought you into nursing. How did you find your way here? Why did you choose nursing? You could have been a mechanic or someone else. What why did you choose nursing?
I wanted to care for people, and I chose it really young. Like I graduated from high school in 1986, and I graduated from nursing school in 1989. So when I was making that decision, I really wanted to help people, and I thought about going to medical school. And in fact, after nursing school, I did apply a couple of times, but I got an interview, didn't get in. So I decided just to stick with the nursing. But I wanted a career where I was helping, where I could touch people and be there for them. And I went immediately into critical care. And I really enjoyed critical care. The diversity, I enjoyed being with the families, helping the families through such, stressful times. And I loved the science behind critical care. It was always changing, there was always new equipment and things. And I really did enjoy that aspect of it. But primarily it was because I couldn't imagine doing a job where I wasn't helping people. I suppose I could have been a social worker. That would have been the other one. But I wanted to be hands-on and more involved with patients. So that's how I got into nursing with no regrets.
Yes.
You can do you can do anything with a nursing degree. Anything,
That's true. I truly believe that. And over 30 years with you doing this, why don't we just say 40? Because from 1980s, and now we're in 2026. Nanci, you are a pioneer in this field. It don't seem like you've even outgrown your desire. It's like the spark is on. And now you're planning on going into advanced practice nursing. That is phenomenal. Just do know that Nurses in Charge, as a global leader in connecting nurses and midwives, we do have our mentorship program. We have research and we have education. So when you talked about getting into research, and if others want to get into it, I see you as one of our mentors in that area of research, because as you know, we are doing in Nurses Week, Nurses Appreciation Week coming up in May. We are putting out our very first symposium, and you being part of that, this is an eye-opening. This is like how God is truly weaving the basket here. He is connecting us globally and truly bringing leaders that have walked the walk, have the desire and the passion to serve humanity, and not only their patients, but also their colleagues. And
Yeah.
what a beautiful connection, what a beautiful celebration we will continue to have with nurses in charge. And it is such a, what's my word? It is such a joyful experience to see you come to NIC. And I wondered, how did you stumble upon NIC? Who brought you here? Another question. How
No,
did you find us?
not a person. No, I was looking at your group either on I think on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
and I was really impressed with what I saw, and I saw some of your podcasts, and I just it felt like home.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I'm a member of a lot of groups, and this is one that feels like going home
Wow.
anytime I'm talking with you. I,
Wow.
it's like it's embracing community. I feel loved for,
Wow.
and you don't get that in a lot in a lot of larger groups, and
Wow.
um yeah, and I would definitely love to help mentor somebody who wanted to go into research. That's the most common question I usually get is, how did you get in there? So that, if I would love to help people, realize their dream that way. And because there's so many avenues they can go in research, and nursing is like the best ticket to get in. So, but yeah, but I found your group on LinkedIn, and did some digging, and I just loved it. And then the first time we met virtually, that was it. That
Yeah.
sealed the deal. Yeah,
Yeah. You
definitely.
know, glory be to God for that. Because when you say family, when you say warmth, feeling warm in such a global community, it is not by my doing, it is not by any human intervention, it is God. Because I don't even know how NIC runs. I don't know, right? When I say I don't know, it's like not by my efforts, right? Because God is truly bringing people together to to remedy our level of separation as healthcare providers. And this is the vision that he gave me, that when nurses don't gossip about each other, when nurses
Mm-mm.
don't criticize each other without coming and saying, "Hey Nancy, I saw that your IV bag is dry, it's like almost empty, and I hung a bag there. Can you go scan it and run it?" Or instead of going to Mary Sue and say, "Can you believe it? Her patients are really drowning in there." So when nurses don't do that, we can save lives, we can save our patients' lives, and we can save our own lives, right? So
Exactly.
when you say warmth, it just brought so much joy in my heart to hear that, because that is what NIC is. That is what God wants for NIC to bring to the world. Because at one point, when I felt like you questioning, wait a minute, what why am I still here? I was burnt out, and then I found my purpose as to serving my colleagues in this arena, in this means of connecting globally, connecting and celebrating. You said no one will celebrate us if we don't celebrate ourselves. Absolutely. If you don't celebrate yourself, I don't celebrate myself, and we as a community don't come together and celebrate ourselves, the world will not. So that warmth that God wants us to share with each other, that's his love. because so many of us are going now to the point where, and it's so sad that the loneliness, the isolation, people working in silos, people feeling unheard, right? People feeling like, oh, I'm way out here in the corner of Africa. I'm way out here in Europe where nurses are not respected, or nurses are not, valued. Um, Instead of doing that, we as a community can light the torch, pass it on, let the love of God be shared among us. So the first time I ever saw you on NIC platform, like you said, it was one of the podcasts. I just saw your name come up, and that was, I believe, 2 years ago. And then you showed up again on our Kickstarter event last year. And then on and on, I continue to see your face, and I'm like, this lady, there's something about her. So there is a lot about you that we cannot even share today. So wow. If someone out there who's listening, please do know that we are a faith-based nonprofit organization, as you can see across the screen there. We believe in Jesus Christ. We welcome all walk of humanity to join us, because we're on a great commission to, spread the good news of Christ, and most importantly, to steward the healing ministry that he started. Because as a nurse, as a midwife, when you are just into nursing for the paycheck, or the banner that I'm a professional healthcare provider, without the dignifying, beautiful, meaningful uh, connection with you being a healer, and that healing coming from the divine God who created you. When you hit rock bottom, at some point, you will hit rock bottom without knowing who to turn to and where to leap out of. So that is the essence of nurses in charge. That we can truly know that we are gifted, we've been called to serve humanity. And when you're called, you answer to that call. That means you are on the path for eternity, right? Serving, and as you serve, God continues to pour into you. And I can see that in your story, Nancy. I see that God is continuing to pour into you what He wants you to accomplish in this world.
And I feel that too. I feel that love from God, and it's deeply personal, and I want to do Him proud. I want to, because I do feel the love, and it brings me such joy to help other people, and it's because of that love that I'm getting. It doesn't become a job; it's like a calling, right? More so than, oh, I've got to go work a shift. It's not like that at all, right? You want to do these things, and you're excited and passionate about what you're doing instead of just showing up.
Yeah.
So yeah. You run in. I love this group.
Oh, thank you.
Give you a big hug.
Thank you. We will, God's willing. One of these days, it's either you're in the U.S. or I come to about to say Florida, to Canada, and I love travel. I was in Canada. That was almost 4 years ago. So, but we will meet one day, and I love to poke people. And one of those people that I poked recently at a conference was Kimberly Muro. She's joining us almost every week now. She pops on and stays with us. Kimberly and I met at the Modern Nurse festival out here in Orlando, and I hugged her. Said, "Are you real? Are you virtual? You're not virtual anymore." And I was poking her. We finally met, so it will happen by God's grace. It certainly
I love
will. It certainly will. Um, Nancy, you have launched into NIC with your heart. And when I say with your heart, you have launched into NIC with such a purpose that I want you to touch on it on this global platform so the world can hear you and see what is it that you are working on, and it has become part of our uh International Nurses Week celebration coming up. What is this project and what is this initiative that you're taking that you want us as partners, as collaborative professionals to talk about during the Nurses Week celebration?
so we're talking about my palliative care panel that I've put together. I'm putting together.
Yeah, the one that has to do with things that are happening in Canada. I want you to say. I don't want to say it.
Okay, yes. So in Canada, what's going on right now is there was funding was frozen for palliative care in the latest budget, and I'm not pleased with that. A lot of people aren't pleased with that because we have assisted suicide in Canada. And unfortunately, the numbers of assisted suicide are going up because if you live in a remote community or if you don't have family, say, even if you live in a city and you don't have the support systems and you get sick in a palliative way, um, there might not be a bed for you in hospice. There might not be a home care nurse to come because there isn't the funding, to support it. And more using MAID, which is our assisted suicide, and that isn't a. I don't think it should be a. I feel it should be a choice, but not because there's nothing else to offer you. That is a forced choice, and it is like as I've said, healthcare is a human right. You shouldn't be having to make a decision like that based on not having the support that should be available to you. And there are a lot of people like me that believe the same way. And we're trying to get that changed and get more funding for palliative care. It's definitely an area that I steered away from when I was younger for some reason, but now I've been entrenched in talking with people who work in the industry, understanding what their needs are and what isn't fun, what it looks like for somebody who is at home on hospice, what supports they are getting and aren't able to provide because of the budgetary cuts, and then definitely lobbying the government for change. But it just shouldn't be that way, especially at that point in your life, right? I mean, what a horrible, it's a horrible time. I feel for people who don't have a lot of family. Like both my parents are deceased. I don't have a lot of I don't live near anyone. That could be me, and you know it could be anyone, and it shouldn't be that way. Not in a first world country. Shouldn't be that way in any country. But we have a lot of money for a lot of other things. I think we can fund palliative care just a little bit more, and maybe not push people towards making a decision for assisted suicide too soon. Or maybe they wouldn't have gone that way at all if they had family around or a nurse to look after them. So that's what I'm working on in my spare time. Yeah. Oh, I think you're on mute. Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So I'm excited, and when you brought a topic, we like, OMG, let's do it. Because for Nurses Week, we are celebrating the milestones. We're celebrating our bravery to tackle subjects and tackle situations within our communities, situations that are not serving humanity, because we sign up to preserve lives. And if we see that something is not right within our scope, and or even I would say within our communities, and but out of our scope, that we can definitely reach out there and do something about it, we should speak up. What's the word that says, they say, see something, do something, say something. So let's do that. And I'm so excited. This panel discussion is going to be hot, and you'll be leading it. And Nurses Week is not going to be the same after topics have hit the tarmac and the rubber meets the road, and Pandora box is open, and we can make a global awareness about things that don't serve humanity, for sure. And on this topic, we saw that Dr. Kevorkian was not such a likable person, but where are we today when we see, you know, laws being passed to do the very things that he once did, that we shied up. So yes.
We are actually expanding our assisted suicide laws to include people who are mentally ill.
Mm.
And that don't even get me started on that. That's a whole other topic. I'm so against that. Um, I have no words for that, for how I feel about that. And when you look at the numbers in Canada versus the numbers in Netherlands, it's much more, the numbers are much, like, I realize the populations are different, but when you compare the number of people choosing assisted suicide in Canada is astronomical compared to what's going on in the Netherlands. Doctors, there are people doctor shopping to get it here. Somebody will turn you down, so you'll go to another doctor. There's just it's just not good. It is not a great, thing. Something has to be done, and somebody has to do something about it.
Yes.
So I can make a tiny difference,
Yes.
then, I'll be doing something at least,
Yes.
instead of making my.
You are, and by the end of all this, which I know is an ongoing project, until we truly, if anything, eradicate such reforms, you will definitely impact society. And who's best to do it but a nurse who's been there, who has walked the walk, and is impacting change. So thank you so much, Nancy. You are on a path from the beginning of your career, where you got into nursing, work at a bedside, transition into research, and now, as we see you going into the legal aspects, standing your ground, waving your banner to save lives and to advocate for your patients. And you are such a leader that brings so much of worth to our community, from patient care into nurse leadership. And I am without words to truly appreciate you. And I thank God that NIC has been blessed with you. We have some amazing work ahead of us, and I know we will do great as a team. Thank you so much for sharing your story with the world. And anyone out there who has listened to Nancy today, if you have questions, even after this podcast, email us at the nurses in charge at gmail.com, and become a member if you're not. Feel free to ask your questions, and furthermore, join us so that we can impact change and we can celebrate each other we can connect globally, where the global community become a little village for all of us to party into, and celebrating our wins. I can't wait to chauffeur Nancy into her nurse practitioner career. I cannot wait to see her blossom into it, because she will. And these are things that NIC look forward to. And moreover, to continue education, right? If you're an educator, come and be one of our educators. This is all, I would say, pro bono, till God Almighty bring in funding that we can hire people, so that they're not just rendering services for free. But whatever you do here through NIC, I truly believe in the depth of my heart that God blesses you in ways that you don't see, ways that you will never see till you meet him and he shows you your book and say, this was your walk, and this I was there with you, and thank you, and give you your crown of glory. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nancy, for taking
Thank
the
you. For me.
yes. Do you have any final words to say? Any goodwill message for those who are out there? Anything you want to say before we close up?
Anything? Have a blessed Sunday and a great week ahead. And tune in for the next person who is in my seat, and looking for support, and help celebrate them as well. And I can't say enough about joining this organization, so please consider joining. It's been one of the best things I've done. It just feels like a family, and you'll feel that right away. So thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for joining and listening
Thank-
to Nancy's amazing story, which we just brushed off. We didn't even go to the I would say to the dermis. We just on the epidermis of it, and we will come back again, God's willing, on another appointed time, so we can tell more of her story, and you can see that she is definitely a leader to mentor after. Thank you, Nancy. Have a blessed week. This is a brand new week as we close up March and marching into April. May God bless you and go with you.
You as well. Thank
Thank,
you.
thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye, Nia. If you're still there, love you, Mom.
Okay. I'm podcasted out.